Okay, what I have here is the Champion Lawn Edger ordered through Home Depot. As you can see, I just got it from outside and managed to sit it here. Didn't get too far. Wanted to go ahead and start assembling in a comfortable environment. It's a little cold out there. Obviously, I'm not going to add any fluids, but didn't see anything online about how to assemble this, so I thought I might go ahead and walk you through the process. Here's everything laid out of the packaging, and it looks like the first step that they want us to do is put on the wheels. So we'll go from there. So these are the directions, not the most user-friendly, but essentially we're going to start with these wheels. Take these two and assemble them with the provided washer, hex bolt, spacer, and then this one here that has the actual rod on it will go in this area. So there's 3 total, and we'll get cracking on those. Okay, so there's a couple of hex bolts. You can see the one you're going to want for this front is the skinnier of the two that looks like this. And we're just going to break it down so that basically it's like this layout with the wheel in the middle. I will show you in a second how that looks. Okay, so here's the bolt I was showing you. Remove these components. What you're going to do is take this part, just put it right through the wheel, and go ahead and grab your extra washer, one of them, put it there. Then we're going to go through the opening, and at that time you can put the other washer on and the bolt. Sorry, my hand's in the way there. Just like that. So really not hard. I'm just going to hand tighten it now, and then I'll tighten it up a little bit in a second. Next, we're going to deal with this back one. Super easy. You just want to make sure this is loose enough, unscrewed. Then I'm gonna put this, insert it from the bottom, going up like this, and then just twist this to tighten it. I'll show you that in a second. When it's done, trying to juggle the camera and do this at the same time. As you can see, it just slides right in there. So I went ahead and just turned on the camera. Pretty easy to do, even with one hand. And then I'll tighten this on the rod, so just hold that in place. And that's so you can adjust it up and down if you have any weird curves or anything like that you want to be able to edge along. Kind of a nice feature, but that's super simple on that assembly. And for our last one, we have this component. We're going to take off all 3 of those, go ahead and put it through the wheel like so. On this side, we're still going to put back the spacer. Go ahead and put your washer. Then I'm going to put it through that hole and have this tighten this on the other side. Okay, and that's what it looks like with all the wheels on. Again, I'm just hand tightening these for now. I'm gonna get out to the garage and tighten them up a bit more at the time that I go ahead and put in my fluids. But that's the wheel assembly, not too hard. Much easier than it looks like when you're overwhelmed with this. But hope that was helpful to walk you through. Okay, we're about to put on the handle assembly. One quick note I noticed as I was undoing this, you get this wrapping, and there are these zip ties. These you're gonna wanna actually go ahead and cut because they're holding this extra rod on. This one, you may be tempted to. I would leave it in place. It's holding this cable in place. So don't think while you're in the zone of snapping these off that you go ahead and clip that one. That one's actually serving a functional purpose for assembly. The rest is just holding together these rods. So I'm gonna take that off and then we'll throw on the handle assembly. Okay, I've unwrapped the handlebar. As you can see there, it's gonna go this direction with the lever on the same side as the blade. I'll show you in a second. We're just gonna rotate that lever around the way it comes packaged. It's not in the right position, but what we're gonna do is attach this through these holes. Let's see, not showing up great on camera there. There's one, you can barely see it. And on this side, that just aligns with these holes on the handle. You're gonna do that using the handle, the black handle with your bolt there. Silver part's gonna be on the outside, and your handle that you grab onto to tighten it will be on the interior. I'll show you that in a second when it's on. It's easier to show you with one already on. So you're gonna want the silver part facing this way. So just so it lays well, the curve lays well with your handlebars. But again, it's just, you align these 2 slots. Go ahead and put your bolt through so you can go ahead and make sure that's comes through like that. Take your black handle, super easy, and just tighten it up. Meanwhile too, I did want to go ahead and show you this handle, which you're ultimately going to use to adjust, is not in the right position. It needs to be up on the, where you can actually control the height. You can see here, they have just a little notch. So you just pull it out enough to get it up and over, and then it slides in, as you can see there. So no problem. And that's ultimately what our rod's going to go on to use to adjust the height of the blade. Okay, the next thing we have is the rod to adjust the blade height. Very simple. Just going to put it one end in that hole. It's a little low, so you do have to kind of push up on the machine, push down. There we go. Rather kind of push forward on it. It'll push this down enough to give you the space you need to fit it in that side, and then they just get secured with these little clips. Super simple on the inside. Next, we're going to attach the ground wire. You can see there's one coming from the engine, which goes to one on the handle. You need to get off this little red guy. It's not for any purpose except to protect it during transit. I use the tip of that knife. I'd recommend a flathead screwdriver. That was probably a little reckless, although I did get my fingers out of the way, and just pry it up under that tab. Once you do that, it'll pop off, and then we'll go ahead and connect these two. They do include a couple of these smaller zip ties, 2 extras. I'm going ahead and using one to secure that ground wire a little better so it's not hanging around, flopping around when I'm walking behind there. That's a nice way to do that. I have some extra zip ties too outside if needed. But the next thing we're going to do too is go ahead and just put in this cord guide so your cord doesn't smack you in the face or the leg when you pull it from there. I'm going to put this through here, tighten it up with this bolt, this nut, and then going to go ahead and gently pull up this string and run it through there. I'll show you in a second. All right, so as promised, we did make it outside. Quick note, I did go ahead and tighten up these nuts. I wanted you to know it's a 1/2 inch for this front guy. And then here on the back, we had, what was it, a 9/16. So just kind of FYI when you're making your plans for your tools. And then I just held the other side with an adjustable small wrench. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our oil. They do give you 0.4 quarts. They say they want you to fill it to, let's see, 11.8 fluid ounces. Interestingly, 0.4 quarts is 12.8 fluid ounces. So they give you a little extra. We're gonna just kind of monitor it as we go. This is your oil area. This is where you're gonna put it in, and your dipstick is attached. We just wanna keep checking it to see that it's at the right spot. And they do include this handy funnel to put it in. So I'm gonna put the funnel like so and add the oil, and we'll get back to you in a second. I did go ahead and fill it up with most of the oil from there. Left a little. It's really hard to see on camera, but in person you can see that the oil's to the level it needs to be. So that's it for that. Super simple. We'll just screw that back in, and then we'll go ahead and fill it up with some gas and crank her up. So I did go ahead and fill it with gas. As you can see, they have that nice red fill line indicator there. Chain on the cap, which is kind of nice. And yeah, super simple to use. So now that that's done, we'll get ready to crank it up. All right, so when you want to start it, you want to go ahead and make sure your blade is up from the ground so it's not resisting, dragging, hitting when you're starting it. You're going to move the fuel into the on position. You want to make sure that you got fuel running. That'll help. It'll be very frustrating if you don't. And then we're going to move this choke lever all the way forward for now. And come up here, we're going to grab this bar. I'm going to crank on pull on the cord until it starts running. And then once it starts going and we feel like the engine's getting warmed up, we'll go ahead and move that choke lever back in toward just the fully running position, and it should be good to go. Let's try it out. Okay, I'm pulling in the lever. Try to put the phone to that side. Rocking and rolling. nicely edged grass. So pretty simple. It's a nice machine. It seems to be very well built for the money. Maybe I'll update with some reviews as I cut it, but I do like the features. It's tough to find a nice walk behind edger these days. They just have all those handles that go on to like a weed eater machine. And I just like my weed eater to be my weed eater. But this is nice, and I like the good clean edge that an edger gives. I had an old Craftsman for many, many years, which finally died. As you can see, I think that thing's been around for 20 plus years. So it had a good run, and let's hope that the next era is just as good for this one. So thanks for watching. It's my first video up here to help you guys, but since I had looked and didn't see anything, I thought it'd be nice to have some just quick walkthrough for this. So hope it helps. Have a great day.